I've been in the financial services industry for 35 years or so, and I like to keep it simple, and I kind of boil success down, at least in the business world, to just a couple pillars. And first one is you have to have a good product. Actually, you have to have a great product. You have to have great customer service, and it has to be supported by incredible individuals. And so I think that's what we did really well, is we did eventually create a great product. And initially it was just the three of us providing support and service. And I think we did a great job. We were all working 18-hour days, 7 days a week. But from that experience, we were able to really develop a core group of customers that really believed in us and trusted in us and had faith in what we were doing and trying to accomplish, which is a lot of our early customers, I thought, believed the fact that, or wanted to believe that we could, in fact, create an amazing bike for under $1,000. And that was what we were very clear we wanted to do. And I think I give our customers a lot of credit, especially those early customers, for sticking with us during those tough times when we were selling bikes, but we weren't delivering any bikes. And that was, I think, our biggest challenge, and probably, as I look back, the most tenuous we were at that point, where we could lose everything. But we had faith, or many of our customers had faith in us and what we were doing, and say, hey, we're going to take a chance on this group. And it worked out great for them and for us.
Yeah, Brent drilled it into us that this can completely fall apart at any moment if you fall short of customer service. So he drilled that into our head. So Robby and I were, early days of Lectric, ringer was all the way turned up and you would answer every single call. And it did not matter if it was at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m., you are answering that call. And so during the early days of Lectric, we were hyper available. And it kind of built people in where it's like, my goodness, these guys really want it. Brent was also preaching to us that, like, if you do this right, it is not just us three working on this, right? If you can create customer advocates who believe in what you're doing and believe what you're gonna deliver, they are gonna be an extension of your team.
Many of them have become friends. I mean, we had some come in yesterday that they're some of our best friends now. And these are people we did not know at all prior to Lectric. And so I think we had these connections. We provided them great service. They trusted us. We trusted them and delivered a great product to them. And over the times, we've had this communication. It's like, hey, let's get together. And we've done that with a few people, and we've gone riding on Huntington Beach and whatnot with a large group of them. And they're just great people.
On this topic of customer service, I remember one day I was walking up to my apartment. I think it was Levi and I think we might have been on speakerphone with you or something. And you said, what would be really great is if we could get back to people within 3 hours. Let's get back to everybody within 3 hours. And we're looking at each other like, Brent, we're already not sleeping. Like, we can't get back to everybody in 3 hours. But that was the goal. I mean, that was truly the goal. And it's kind of a funny story now, but I remember, being there Saturday morning, Sunday morning, whatever, just wake up, get back to people, and we would get people taken care of literally, in under an hour or whatever, like by phone. We would have a few emails exchanged on a Sunday, whatever it was, and get people taken care of, get them the parts they need, whatever they needed. That was really special. Yeah, I remember being like, if I reach out to any company right now, I'm not gonna get the founders. I'm not gonna get an email response. Like, this doesn't happen, and it was really special.
But we had so many comments about, hey, I talked to Robby, or I talked to Levi, or Brent sent me an email. And a few of them were saying, I think that's only 3 people in the company, because I've never gotten an email from anybody other than these 3, and they were absolutely right, because it was just the 3 of us. And I just remember that thinking, okay, it's probably time to grow when we're working all hours of the day, and customers are noticing the fact that, hey, this is a pretty small group.
Yeah, right.
I think one thing, though, is it felt good in those early days to exceed expectations, right? You know, it made it a lot easier to do those emails and those calls at those insane hours because, you know, when you delight or surprise someone and they're like, oh my gosh, thanks so much for the response. I didn't think you'd get back to me so quickly. It's like that kind of recharges you every single time you have one of those interactions. And you're like, our customers were so appreciative of our ability.
I wanted to get back on the phone. I wanted to do those emails because they would be encouraging to me because they were so excited about it and so happy and say, hey, thanks for getting back to me. And we wanted to provide that kind of experience that a lot of companies don't provide anymore. So in that members group, I remember some of people saying, hey, I think I'm going to cancel. Is this company even real, right? Because nobody's gotten a bike yet. But there were some that we communicated with that said, I trust these people. It looks like a great bike. I'm going to stick it out. And then others would say, yeah, I think I'll stick it out too. And so we had these influencers, even within the Facebook group, to say that understood the concern that everybody had, but said, you're going to do what you want, but I'm going to stick this out because I have a belief in this company. And that meant a lot, I think, to all of us because they really had no reason to believe in us.
Well, so what happened though was we had sold a couple bikes. So like in the first 2 or 3 weeks, we had already pre-sold 1,000 of these bikes. And I'm starting to travel around the world in order to get all the manufacturing lined up and quality control and everything like that. And then you guys are just rocking and rolling on calls and emails. And we did that for a couple of months there where it was just the three of us. And it started to become apparent where it's like, all right, we need a little more help, right? We're running really thin at this point. So what do? You just call like your friends and family. So I remember I go to my sister-in-law and I said, hey, great news. I'm gonna need you to work 40 hours a week and you're just gonna help me on emails. And her hours were 7 days a week though. She was doing like 5.5 or 6 hours per day, 7 days a week, because it was, played to the fact that we were so obsessed with 7-day-a-week coverage. So we call her and get her involved. And then, as I remember when our first 200 bikes were delivered, that was a huge moment for Lectric because all the people that kind of entrusted in us, and especially the early adopters, went on these Facebook group pages and everything and was like, guys, it's real.
I got my bike and they said, I got my bike and it's better than I ever thought. They would open this thing up and I think a lot of them thought it would be really light and kind of cheap.
Yeah.
And it was like this sturdy bike, well built.
Yeah.
And they were so excited and they got on their Facebook or on their sites and started saying, hey, this thing's amazing. And that started the snowball.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't us saying this is a great bike, which it was and is. It was customers who were just they were as excited about the bike as we were.
Well, there was thousands of people going through this one shared experience waiting for their bike. And then what happened was a couple hundred of them got it. And they were like, it's worth it. Guys, be patient. It is everything we thought it would be. And then it was like that shared experience ballooned out to everybody else where everybody was just as excited as if they had already received theirs.
They were excited for every time somebody would report that they got their bike. Everybody's like jumping up and down saying, oh, great, congratulations.
Well, I think too, what was really interesting is after these super long wait times, people would be, sometimes very upset with us, on the phones or on the emails. And as soon as they got their bike, it seemed with some people like that almost just evaporated.
Right. Yeah.
It was just like, this thing is so awesome. I got such a great deal.
Yeah.
Like, I know I can get in touch with you guys if I have anything, go wrong. And it was like, it was totally worth the wait.
There were probably two types of customers or two communications that we received that made me the most excited. One was customers would say, this is the best bike, or this is the best product I've ever purchased for the money. I feel like I got the best value. That was exciting, I think super motivating for us. The other one was when we get those emails that would tell people would say, you know what, I haven't ridden a bike in 40 years. I've got a bad hip, bad knee, I'm disabled, and my life, I feel like I'm getting my life back. And when we would read those kind of things, it just bring, again, goosebumps up and down your spine, because it was like, wow, we're making a difference in somebody's life. And we had several customers in those early days and even now call us and say, this has changed my life. And it's almost like a miracle that I've got this freedom I didn't have. So those are the two things, like this is the best value I've ever had, or this is changing my life. That was, and still is, probably the thing that drives a lot of what we do, which is we're making a difference.
Yeah. So, but we get those bikes out there, and then it was, it just fueled the fire, and the demand only went up, right? As soon as we started shipping bikes, those bikes were now working for us, and they were salespeople, because we sold so many bikes to RVers that they were going from state park to state national park. They were going all over the place and bringing our bike to new environments, and sales balloon up, and then it's like, shoot, we need more. So, we called like 3 of my college buddies, and I told them all, like, hey, you're moving down in the next 2 weeks. Like, you're gonna come down here. We had all just graduated, and from Minnesota, California, and Colorado. And one of my buddies, I bought him the flight, and then I called him and I said, your flight's tomorrow. I need you here. So we get our buddies in, and they see kind of the effort the 3 of us are putting out, and they kind of just picked up on it, right? It was standard, where it was like, there's gonna be long hours, there's gonna be a lot of hours, and there's gonna be graveyard shifts, and we're gonna set these attainable goals, and we're gonna just try to celebrate these small wins along the way, but we are gonna work our tails off.
What had happened? So when we relaunch the new product, the XP, right? We sent it out to a bunch of influencers, and we're like, all right, hey, if you like it, do a review on it. If you don't, whatever, it's fine. Yeah. And everybody ends up doing the reviews. Everybody ends up liking it and helping us sell some of them. And we had kind of had them on the calendar, like, here's when I'm gonna post my video. And it turned out somebody posted, and we weren't expecting it. We were not ready. It was not on the calendar where it was supposed to be.
Well, so here's what happened was, they communicated, hey, we're gonna be posting on this day, and it was, the night before, and Rob and I worked on and built our website ourselves, and we do not know how to build websites, but we were doing our best, and we kind of pieced it together just so it's good enough, because it's like, it's gonna get some views and people, but we said to each other, like, because we didn't have a bank account set up, because we had not sold any bikes. Right, there's nothing to put in there, right? Yeah. So we go, and I remember we had this conversation where it's like, it's not like anybody's gonna buy a bike the day the video comes out, right? They're gonna think about it, whatever, and maybe we can sell, 5 or 10 bikes later. And that video goes out, and like by the time we woke up, we already sold like 5 to 10 bikes, and it's like, oh my goodness. So we call you, who just happened to be in Arizona at the time. It's like, we got to get to a bank, because right now all this money is just sitting in this void where it's just somewhere in our website, but can't be deposited anywhere. So then we go to the bank, and we're trying to set it up, and meanwhile the phones are ringing off the hook. And so Rob's like on the phone, like trying to sign out, paperwork and everything, and we're all just pacing and whatever. I will never forget that first day. But yeah, poor planning on our end.
But we were scrambling. It was like scrambling now. Now we have to,
And then wake up the next day and do it all over again, because it wasn't just a splash in the pan. Like, it just kept going. Oh man. Well, it was exhilarating. Right? That first day, the day we're at Wells Fargo, I remember thinking, thank God. We finally figured it out a little bit.